So that's it, everyone. That's the season.
What a season. What a fucking season. Mr. Citrus Man. Mr. Citrus Man.
So because we built up a lot of audience here, you probably, if you watched any of our podcast content, you'll notice that every episode we ranked these and we would make reference to tiers. We're going to go ahead and move things around the tiers here.
Okay, I think because this season, because of the Reacts to Fate videos, we've gained a lot of new subscribers.
So do we want to explain our ranking system?
Yeah, a little bit. So I just want to reiterate. So the four of us rank these, right? And then we collectivize the rankings, much like the communists collectivized Russia. Actually, this season was themed communism. We'll get to that. But basically, we've got 4 rating options. When we watch a show, we either rate it as approved, meaning that we liked it, we'd watch it again, we'd share it with others. Meh, like it's not bad, but it's
not my thing, or it teeters on being just kind of there.
But it's also not necessarily bad.
Yeah.
And then there's disapproval, in that I don't like this. This is actively bad, in my opinion.
We actually call it shit. It's supposed to be the most violent reaction you have to a show.
Yeah, it's shit. It's fucking shit. And then we have the ooh-woos. Those ironic enjoyment shows that you just can't help but love, even though they are arguably the worst thing on the planet Earth.
Yes. We already in the tier list have stop shaking that. Sorry.
So the way that we have the tier list work is we have a collective tier list that covers all 3 of the seasons of our show, so you can see where we rank things that we watched in the past, and you'll see that later. But as of right now, the 6 shows up in the tier list already, this is where they were at the end of last season, when we watched whatever we watched last season or in the first season. And then we watched them again this season. So they may be shifting, they might be staying the same. It just depends on how we feel. And when we have a show like that where we've watched like multiple submissions of it, our ratings are always supposed to be based on the collective whole of everything we've watched.
So you might like one section of it. If you really hated like the past 50 episodes, you are still within your right to go to a meh.
Yeah.
It's a gut feeling. Even though we have some like general guidelines here, it is a gut feeling at the end of the day, which leads us to occasionally having these moments of, God damn it.
Yeah, for example, so now we've finished all of One Piece, right, at the end of the season, East Blue. So all of our rankings should theoretically be based on our feelings on the whole of the East Blue saga.
That said, if you're coming out of the most recent arc with generally good feelings, typically we're just going to give it an approved.
Yeah, because you have to think about the collective. But, with that being said, I think we should get into how we ranked this season shows. We always have about 26 episodes. We're including the Lost episode here, even though you guys didn't really get to see it, because we did rank it, and I did record the ratings when we did it. So we will include the Lost episode.
One more thing here, because you can probably, just how the tier list is laid out here, E is no approvals, D is 1 approval, and so on going up. Uwu, you need 2 uwus to land an uwu, at which point it overrules anything else in the tier list. And to end up in the toilet, it has to be the complete,
4 shits.
Yeah.
It needs a collectivized
This trash is no man's
shit.
treasure.
Yep. Yeah, literally no man's treasure. We have had, 1 shit in the history of the podcast?
Yeah.
Across 3 seasons.
It's kind of impressive, to be honest. I'm kind of happy that it stayed the only,
to
true
be fair,
shit.
It truly deserves its title. I campaigned real hard to get another show into that list, but I did not succeed.
I'm sure that show has its fans. It's just not any of us.
Anyways, so let's get into it. The first thing we watched this season was our yearly uwu submission, right? So these are shows that we watch as the first episode of the season that one of us suggests that personally triggers an uwu response, right? Like just a truly, this hot garbage is enjoyable. And that would be Magical Girl Ore.
Oh, yeah. That'd be the second icon there down at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I can recognize these. So, what we all ranked Magical Girl Ore. Ooh.
It was unanimous.
This is a collectivized ooh. It's glorious.
That show was a ride. It feels like a fever dream.
I love that show. I tell people to watch that show.
I know you do.
Genuinely, if y'all hadn't given it ooh-woos, I would have given it an approved, not even an ooh-woo. I have an unironic love for that show.
Jesus.
It's so good. It is a masterpiece of subversion. So our second show for the season was already up on the list. So we watched One Piece. This is not the first time we're going to potentially move One Piece around.
But unfortunately, in this time, it did not get moved around.
No, it stays at a B tier. Only 3 of us approved of it. That's fine. So following One Piece, we have Persona 3 movies 2 through 4.
Previously, was it season 2? We did the first movie, and generally we hated it, with the exception of Realm, who was very ambivalent to it.
Yeah. So upon having seen movies 1 through 4 now, the entire movie collection of Persona 3, we have decided that it got 1 approval and 3 mez, which means it gets to move up a whole tier, right?
Yeah, 1 whole tier.
Whole tier. That is entirely due to my input.
Yeah, Realm, the Persona fan, gave it a meh.
So, our third show for the year was a movie from you. It's Fate Grand Order, First Order. There it is. There's the little icon as I try to search with my bad eyes. How did we feel about this?
We gave it a B, I'm pretty sure.
I feel like that sounds... Well, yeah, 3 approvals and 1 meh.
Yeah, I trust that you keep it accurate there, but I kind of remember it differently. I calculated everything from there, so...
Yeah, no, those are the approvals as happened in the episode.
Yeah.
Because I do double-check when I'm editing. So, next is Lucky Star. Obviously, this is our first A tier of the season.
Yeah.
4 approvals. And what I would like to say, so we have the grand prize up at the top. What that means is, if we have more than 1 A tier, right, meaning that we all liked it, we all vote, we all rank them, and then we calculate out the rankings to determine which was the best show by consensus for the whole season.
I will also point out here, if now the tier list is beginning to take shape, if for some people you're like, wait a minute, this is definitely not better than this, keep in mind this is more of a tier list of agreeability with us, because I don't know that the tier list will often reflect our preferences in shows, or the order we like shows in.
It's true. I mean, last season I was able to jerry-rig the voting for the grand prize into getting what I wanted to win, but that was not possible this season. So this season was arguably more fair than last season, because last season I genuinely did rig the vote.
She abused democracy.
I absolutely rigged the vote. Incidentally, the reason why this season is called Communism, and I made a collectivism joke, is because this, the first season we did, we were just pulling from a random hat, right? And some of us got really, really lucky, like me, and some of us got really unlucky, so it was pretty uneven in terms of who got pulled when. And in the second season, we were clearing out... What were we doing in the second season?
Second season, it was randomized order, but instead of clearing out random anime, we were pulling our own names with a random anime name in the hat.
Yeah. Once again, some of us got luckier than others, aka
Realm.
Being luckier than Realm. So this season, we did Communism. So everybody got 5 submissions. Knick Knack, Vorn, Realm, me, Seki, and Randa, which is the random hat we have to pull from when we hit random on the lottery. We
had problems with this, but we'll get into that after the tier list, I think.
Yeah, we did have some issues with this. And I think we're going to discuss it because we have an updated... an updated system for next season, which I think we're going to enjoy a lot more. So, following Lucky Star, we had 86, which is A tier.
Yeah.
Absolute A tier.
Despite the video on the channel of me shitting all over 86.
That was on season 2. This is on... So
we only covered season 1 here.
As a group, we did not watch season 2. So this is based only on what we watched as a group together, not our own personal thoughts on later content. Following 86, we had Citrus. The fuck did Citrus get?
E tier, I'm pretty sure.
2 shits? 2 mez?
Something like that.
Man, this show made me rethink our rules for shit tier.
She really argued for it, too.
I really argued for 2 shits to equal a shit. Like, really argued for it, because...
Look, you can view the E tier as an extension of the shit tier, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be... Like, this has to appeal to no one in the channel to land in E tier.
Following that, we saw the first 6 episodes of ReZero.
First 6 on the director's cut. This is like the first 13 or 14 on the regular cut.
Yeah, so the first 6 episodes got approval from everyone.
Yeah.
Then we watched Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy had 2 approvals and 2 mez, which puts it in C tier, I believe.
Our first C tier so far.
First C tier. You know, it's odd kind of seeing the balance, I think, of the table sometimes, because we obviously have a tendency to skew towards having a lot of like C and B tiers, where like a couple people found a show that they liked and a couple people didn't. So it's always interesting to see which tiers have the most shows in them.
Then there are those times where there's a broken heart and there's a D tier.
Yeah, the B tier is also known as the goddammit blank tier, because
Yeah.
it's where everyone liked it except for one person. You're just sitting there like, goddammit Knick-Knack, or goddammit Vorn. It is a constant source of pain. Actually, funnily enough, that was not my constant source of pain. In season 1, I did not have a single show ranked higher than C tier.
Season
Not
2, you had
one.
a fair bit of B tier.
Season 2, I had a lot of B tiers, but season 1, I like tanked the fucking rating.
In this season, fittingly, if you've seen my real name on Twitter, the B tier is my tier.
Yeah. So following Tsukimichi was Garden of Sinners, another show that is already in our tier list from last season.
This time it shot up to I believe in the first watch it shot up to as a C or a B?
It shot up to a C tier, because I approved these, and so did
Me.
So did you, yeah. And then we have another movement in the table that was already existing, which is Naruto, because first season Naruto, I think I was the only approval.
Yeah.
I was the only approval. This season, Naruto has shot up to a B tier, also known as God damn it, Knick-Knack.
Yes.
God damn it, Knick-Knack.
Yes.
You turn your head back around and you take responsibility for your actions. You take responsibility. Then we have yet another movement in the table, Fairy Tail. The first of, I believe, 2 Fairy Tail submissions.
You went
this
hard
season.
on Fairy Tail this
Yeah,
season.
moves us up to an A tier. I got one of my shonens into A tier.
She finally did it. Yay!
Everybody celebrate for Seki. She's been trying for 3 seasons.
It was Fairy Tail of all things.
I know, I was not expecting that, to be honest. And now I break Knick-Knack's heart by saying that we watched ReZero again, and this time I disliked it.
God damn it, Seki.
Moving it down to B tier, and boy did I hear about it in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Oh lord, did I hear about it in the comments. Which just goes to show you that this is a ranking system based off of group approval, not individual approval. Because honestly, if this was about how ardently people fought for shows, that would have stayed A tier.
Oh, yeah.
Like 10 out of 10.
Naruto would have been an A tier in that logic.
Yep. We, however, have a absolute victory in the next show where Demon Slayer moves up to an A tier.
Woo, we stopped goddamming Vorn.
Yeah, he did that back in season 1, and we hadn't gotten back to the show since. Oh, it was so nice for it to get moved up, because I really thought it deserved that A tier. I personally thought that it deserved to be fighting for the grand prize in season 1.
Yeah.
And Vorn ruined that. God damn it, Vorn.
Season 1 was also like you at the very end of your shonen kick, too.
Yeah, because like season 1, I was still in my shonen kick, and then I like immediately went into that Iishikei Isekai kick.
Like, I think you still like shonen, which is why you still approve Demon Slayer, but I think you've not grown out of shonen, but you've varied your palette a lot more since season 1.
I have. I don't watch as many like pure shonens, and I don't watch a lot of new shonens these days. Like, I've really struggled to start Boku no Hero Academia.
Here's my
Like,
problem.
I have struggled with that show.
This might piss people off in the comments, but I think the problem with me, because I can say there are arcs of Boku no Hero Academia you might actually really like. The problem is, at a certain point, even I fell off, and I'm like, do I really encourage you keep watching if I'm going to say after the start is kind of okay and the later parts are actively kind of bad?
But I'm struggling with the start. Side tangent here. I have not managed to get past the 3rd episode.
Yeah, no, this is the very start. This isn't like...
I am struggling. And you know what the worst part is? Somehow on TikTok, unintentionally, I have just become a part of Boku no Hero TikTok, like specifically Boku no Hero Thirst Talk. And I like literally every day see at least 3 thirst traps for either Aizawa or Hawks, right? And like I've not met these characters yet in the anime, which is so fucking weird for me. And then also One Punch Man I've struggled with. I've seen some of it, but it's just not quite my speed, it feels like. And then I refused to watch Demon Slayer for a long time before we watched it for the channel. And even then, I didn't watch more of it until I did for the channel this season. So, like, I
think
have
it's-
struggled.
You've kind of left that phase of shonen. I think we have a lot of patience for shows.
Yeah, I have a lot of patience for the shows that I have nostalgia for, but I have very little patience for
Like,
new
it's kind of
shonen.
funny to hear. Say, I can't get past 3 episodes when, like, you go into, like, Katekyo or
And I watched,
Naruto
like,
or One Piece, and she'll, like,
300 episodes.
choke us out over saying that, man, I'm bored after 15 episodes.
I will choke you out for that. So tangent finished on that. Where the fuck were we? Ah, yes, Demon Slayer. So next is Bunny Girl Senpai.
Another A tier. Next to
It's
Pokemon.
this one. Okay. Bunny Girl Senpai. Oh, is it A tier?
Yeah.
It is A tier.
I think this one was a shock to us, to be honest.
Yeah, I honestly, okay, this is one of those things where, you know how people say don't judge a book by its cover, right? And I absolutely object to it. The point of a book cover is to be judged. Like, it is the job of someone to come up with a cover for a book that they think is compelling enough that someone will walk into a store, see the cover, and be interested if they don't already know it. The point of a book cover is for the book to be judged by it in the modern day, right? And this is one of those cases where, like, you look at the cover image, and I look at the name, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be one of those icky shows. And it wasn't. But it's the way it's, like, looks is...
I would object to that, to be honest.
Which part?
Just your interpretation of what "don't judge a book by its cover" means, because you can judge the cover by what the cover depicts.
Well, but what I
Yeah.
mean is that in the, like, often in, like, our current, like, era, people say that, and what they mean is don't look at the front cover of a book and go, oh, I'm not into that. Now, that's not what it meant historically. Right? Like, that's one of those phrases that has gone through a couple different periods of, like, when it was created and what it actually
Yeah.
meant and what it is today. But, like, people design covers for a reason.
I think, in any case, the "don't judge a book by its cover" is more important if you're browsing things you've never heard of than it is if you're taking something like a suggestion or looking at a classic or something.
But that's why it's important
Yeah.
in something like Bunny Girl Senpai, because, see, all I've seen is, like, the image with her in the
And this
Playboy
isn't
bunny outfit, and then the title.
this isn't what happened, or kind of is what happened actually. But, like, if someone were to, like,
But the
if
context
outside of
is
the
not
context,
what you think.
outside of the context of the channel, if, say, Voren were to go up to you and recommend, hey, this series is really good, I think it's your speed, and you look at the cover, that's where the "don't judge a book by its cover" would become
But
to be
that's what I
important
was
as a
saying.
phrase.
That's literally what I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand where the argument was. That was actually what I said.
I'm pushing back because there is some purpose to that. I just don't think it's necessarily universal.
Well, yeah, but I meant it in relation to this specific book. Anyways, it's not what it looks like. Okay, people? It's not what it looks like. It's good. Go watch it. So we follow that up with Garden of Sinners, which was in C tier, and I think now
It's in B
goes
tier.
up to B tier. Yeah,
In a moment that can be described as the ultimate goddammit Seki moment.
because it went up, but it still didn't make it all the way to A tier.
Everyone who gave it a meh in the previous push gave it an approve now.
And then I had given it an approved, and I was like, meh. So then we had Bakemonogatari. Bam? It's this one, right? Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah.
Some fucking thumbnails. My eyes are not.
Sorry, that was a bit of a bad image too, because that one, the image for the anime that had like the logo on it, really
Yeah.
fought me, and it wasn't compatible with Tiro, so I had to switch up the image.
Yeah, so Bakemonogatari is, honestly, for me, Bakemonogatari was a goddammit all of you. It's D tier, right? One
Yeah,
approval?
it's
Firmly D tier, and I personally thought that it deserved so much more, but once again, judgment by consensus.
yeah. I mean, look, I have to give credit to Bakemonogatari. It's a very artistic series, and there's very clearly a lot of thought put into both the anime and the story. I think it just wasn't a story that very many of us were able to be grabbed by at the moment.
But it was so similar to... Okay, no, I'm not getting into
Look-
this. Go watch the episode we did on it, because we got into this argument
Yeah.
during the episode.
The
Because
long and the
I personally think that it's very similar to Bunny Girl.
The long and the short of it is, it might be Bunny Girl Senpai's fault that we gave this a lot of us gave this a mix. We watched something so similar recently.
Yeah, and
that was
I
more of an
think-
iteration of what came before.
Yeah. So next we had Real Life and Kanetsu Hen, which is just the continuation of Real Life.
Yes.
And this got all approvals.
Yeah, another A tier.
Right up into A tier.
A tier eating good this season.
Yeah, this is I was gonna say it's rare, but last season we had like 7 A tiers.
Like, none of them were mine.
Yeah, no, none of... Yeah, it was.
No, last season, yes. This season, no.
Yeah, none of them are yours. That's just because you're bad at picking anime.
Fuck you. After season 1 and 2, fuck you.
That's true. I had one anime, I think, in all of season 2 hit A tier. And nothing even in A or B in season 1.
Last season, I won the grand prize, so fuck you.
So next we have Pokemon.
That's a B tier?
But it's a weird B tier because...
It's almost an A tier. It would not have won grand prize or come anywhere close. But it was almost an A tier. It was an ooh-woo. And this is one of those ones where the tier list is kind of weird and punishes you for giving
Well,
ooh-woo.
it's... So Vorn is the ooh-woo here. And Vorn doesn't judge ooh-woo the same way we do. Because Vorn doesn't really ironically enjoy anything.
Yeah.
Vorn declares something as ooh-woo when it's like vaguely mystifying to him, but not bad. Just not like good in a way that he would keep watching or enjoy. And we judge it by like ironic enjoyment.
Yeah.
So like, in all fairness, this should have been a straight B with a meh or an A with a low approval.
Yeah.
But we have to respect the fact that Vorn judges the system the way he judges the system, and he has a reason for it.
If we wanted to, like right now, the ooh-woo is an effective special meh. If we wanted to, we could judge the ooh-woo as a special approve, but I don't really feel like it because then that would raise, that would be different for some shows.
Yeah, because that would mean that Ore gets a special A tier.
Yeah, well, the ooh-woo tier is different.
I know. Following Pokemon, we have the Lost episode.
Oh, wow.
Plastic Memories. I genuinely, we had no clue when we were, it was one of the few times we didn't double check our recording software before we started, and there was just the most horrendous, hideous fucking background noise. It sounded like chalkboard nails in the back of the recording.
Which sucks, because that was one of our most back and forth episodes so far.
It was, and I could not fix it in editing software. I could not fix it in the software it was recorded in. I couldn't fix it in a different software. The best I was able to do eventually was make it so that it was only slightly heinous, and I didn't feel like I wanted to put that up with the current quality of our episodes. But we did do a little update on it. We told people why. And Plastic Memories did get 2 approvals and 2 mehs, landing it firmly in C tier.
Yeah.
So it wasn't bad at all. Following that up, we have Fairy Tail, Round 2, Fight! At which point, I let out a scream of frustration, anger, and disappointment as it dropped in ranking due to Vorn.
Karma!
Shut the fuck up. And then we had One Piece, which I let out a scream of happiness as it went up 1 ranking due to Vorn. Vorn both provided my most triumphant moment and my most terrible moment this season.
Vorn giveth and Vorn taketh away.
That is literally the title of fucking B tier. Vorn giveth and Vorn taketh.
I don't know. I feel like I could describe Seki giveth and Seki taketh a lot stronger than you can.
Okay, you're just salty about ReZero.
I'm actually less salty about ReZero, because I knew you wouldn't approve ReZero second submission.
So are you salty about Garden of Sinners?
Oh, yeah.
This is hilarious. Oh, man. And then we had our one of our 2 guests that we didn't mention. Citrus was a guest episode. We had a guest along. Our guest did not approve it.
No.
So we have our second guest episode of the season, Assassin's Pride. Once again, our guest did not approve this.
We really gave our guests some awful shows this season.
Hated this. I genuinely was a little upset that this didn't get shit tier. Wait, isn't it 2 shits to toilet?
No, it's 4.
Oh, damn it. See, this is why I fought for 2 shits to toilet, because I felt like both of these deserved to be down there.
But then we wouldn't have a contested... A lot of E-tiers that end up in shit.
I know. Assassin's Pride was not good, though. And then we have one of mine, which can only be described as disappointment. Extreme disappointment in B tier.
Look, if only Seki would acknowledge the
travesty.
Demonetized, then, maybe there'd be more agreement. I'm kidding, there wouldn't. I really didn't care for this show.
So second to last thing we watched this season was Horimiya. And Horimiya was everyone liked Horimiya.
It's hard to hate Horimiya.
Horimiya was a fun show. I mean, it was cute. It was adorable. We loved it. And then finally we round out the season with, and this is a little odd, right? So like I said, when we're doing series, right, we talk about the series altogether once we've watched multiple. And we did that with Index when we initially watched Index. And technically, this is in the same universe, but it's not the same show. So it is judged on its own merit.
If you've seen our channel's previous tier list of Fate, you'll know what this looks like.
Yeah. Like all the Fates are different series, but, multiple submissions of the same series. So we have a certain scientific railgun following up a certain magical index. And railgun got a solid B tier.
It was interesting how that one played out.
Yeah, I have to say, looking at the distribution of the animes we watched this season, we were, on the whole, far more agreeable than we've ever been before, A. B, we had far less unique shows this season. Far less. And you know what? That's partially my fault, and we're going to talk about that in a second. And C, you can really start to see what we can all agree on. Right? And we're going to talk more about that when we see the other tier list. But I think now we're going to rank our A tiers and tell you what gets the grand prize. So we're going to go bottom to top in A tier. So what we did with A tier was we voted on them. We had to all label them 1 through 7, right? And then what place they got. If they got first on our list, they got 1 point. Golf rules, lowest points 1. So what got the most points?
I figure we go from bottom to top here.
That's what I mean. What got the most points? I'll reorder them in the A tier, and then we'll ceremonially move up the best one.
On our list with the most points, losing in last place is, to Seki's chagrin, One Piece.
I tried so hard. I mean, okay, I would like to say, while I could not, unlike last season, right, where I was able to literally metagame the final voting, this time I could have shifted the placement of One Piece if I had been willing to downvote something else I liked, and I wasn't willing to do that.
Here's the problem, though. Is it really worth it when it's not the grand prize? Because they're all just a bunch of losers anyways, but they're A tier, so they're all still winners.
Well, that's what I mean. This time it wasn't worth it for me to try to shift around the lower performing shows, but last season I was able to jerry-rig who got first. That was worth it. Anyways, so what is our second?
Following One Piece is that little bundle of sugar, Lucky Star.
Which, honestly, disappointing.
Really?
I don't know.
Are you disappointed that One Piece lost to Lucky Star, or disappointed that Lucky Star ended up so low?
Actually, I really thought Lucky Star would be in the top 4. I'm not sure why. I just did.
I think in this case, it's one of those situations, like on mine, it rated pretty low because I think it doesn't stick out to some people as much as like a more serious show might, even though it's absolutely quality as far as what it's trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. So what's next?
Next up is Real Life.
Understandable. Have a day.
Following that is Bunny Girl Senpai.
Understandable. Have a day. And this is exactly where I thought the top 3 would end up, to be honest.
Yeah. Next up, after just beating out Bunny Girl Senpai, is Demon Slayer.
That was my surprise upset here. I genuinely thought that we were going to have a fight between Demon Slayer and 86 for top tier.
Maybe, but I think Demon Slayer fumbles a little bit at what it's trying to do in some cases.
I think, honestly, because I'm pretty sure Vorn put it real low on his estimation. So that, I mean, he fucked with the tier list there a little bit. And granted, that's fair. That's fair. So, between 86 and Horimiya, to those of you who have seen our reviews of those 2 episodes, it is literally no surprise what won the grand prize this season.
Yeah.
I cannot even express to you how unsurprised I was at the grand prize winner.
So, just absolutely whiffing it and not coming even close to taking the grand prize is Horimiya.
Yeah, and of course 86 got a combined score of 4. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone voted it first.
I want to be completely clear here. Before we even tallied up the points, I knew 86 was going to win because I asked what everybody's favorite find of the season was first.
That was something we haven't done the last 2 seasons, and I think it actually would have been.
I think we did favorite find last season.
We might have, but we didn't do it first season. And
yeah.
I kind of wish we had. But yeah, no, 80 and one of the criteria for favorite find of the season was we couldn't have seen it before the season started.
Yeah.
So because for me, I was torn between Magical Girl Ore. and 86. But I had seen a little bit of Magical Girl
Yeah.
Lori before the season started, so it didn't feel fair for me to vote that when I knew I'd like it when we started watching it.
And everyone except for Vorn put 86 as their favorite find, and that was just because Vorn couldn't.
Yeah, Vorn literally couldn't because he watched it before the season started. Like, he's
So-
the one who put it in. It's
As soon as I heard that, I knew what was going to win Best of Season.
and it is, I cannot express, reiterate, describe enough how fucking amazing 86 is. Go watch the videos. It is stunning. Go watch the show. I cannot suck the dick of this show with enough intensity.
Go watch Connor's review of the show after you've seen the show. I'm kidding. Connor's welcome to his own opinions.
Right. So this is what the final tier list looks like. What is there anything that genuinely surprises you here? Because I have a few things, but I want to hear from you first.
What genuinely surprises me about this, well, I think just on the whole how positive this ended up looking. Like, even though I am still ready to put a knife through your heart for Garden of Sinners, and ReZero didn't surprise me, I'm surprised both of them were as agreeable as they were amongst everyone collectively. Like, Garden of Sinners only hurt so much because it looked like it had a chance.
I do so love to make you feel like you have hope and then dash it away.
But I expected, like, that and a lot more to end up in lower tiers. Between that, your two shonens up in the higher tier lists, the First Order movie, Pokemon, I expected that, and Railgun, I would have expected this to be heavily balanced to see a D tier.
I gotta be honest here, it's not that I don't have faith in my shonens, but I fully expected One Piece, Fairy Tail, and Naruto to end up in D tier. Because here's the thing, I go into my shonens, right, after Katekyo in season 1, I go into my shonens with the thought that it's gonna end up in D tier, and then every vote above that is a win. Cause, like, I know, it was like, you have to think, we have to start from the beginning with these shows, and I can't skip filler until after the 48 episode mark.
And for shonen, that's rough.
It can be really, really rough when I'm showing things to you guys. Like, I have to admit, like, fucking in Naruto, the Haku and Zabuza arc had like 7 episodes of just repetitive backstory with nothing happening. The arc is great if you cut that out, but you can't because it's in the first 20 episodes. It's painful. And I feel so bad for it. So I think we should switch over to the cumulative tier list.
Yeah, let's
first.
just show everyone
So-
where everything stands at this point.
At the moment, for the entire history of the channel, this is the cumulative collection of every show we've watched and our up-to-date rankings for all of them.
We're not going through all this, by the way.
No, we're not going through all of them. Interesting enough to note, our top 3 grand prizes. Season 1, we all agreed on Overlord. Although the competition that season was Noragami, and it was very close.
Was it close?
It was very close.
Okay.
Like, it was 3-1 only because I saw the way that the wind was blowing in my voting. Season 2, I jerry-rigged Almaloy into winning. It did not... honestly, if I had not liked it as much as I did, it wouldn't have been the first place.
Oop.
Hold on a second.
Hello, Vorn.
Oh, we're recording. Okay.
Yeah! Disembodied voices here to join in.
Yeah,
And
any
he
words?
will remain disembodied.
Yeah, any words for the season end, Vorn?
Wild train to crazy.
That's entirely fair this season.
We're about to record our next submission, so you'll get to see that eventually.
Yeah, so Almaloy, but in the second season we had, was it 9 A tiers, I think?
Click back into the second season, take a look.
7? 7?
I don't
7.
know where the
Yeah,
fucking-
7.
I don't know where the fucking...
Oh, you're already in there.
No, I wasn't. I was in season 3.
Oh, you mean the previous season? Oh, you'll
Yeah,
have to.
I'm at season 2.
Oh,
Whoa.
scroll down.
That was 8. 8, I think.
This, right?
Yes.
Okay. Nope, that's not correct.
That's season 2.
Yep, but that's Overlord.
Yeah, we watched over
Oh,
season 2 and
okay.
season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, so we only had 6. Okay,
Yeah.
for some reason I thought we had more. Okay, no, I'm wrong. So we did have less than season 2. Season 2 had the most A tiers we've ever had. And honestly, what a fucking collection here. Because we had like 4 shows that were like fluff and comedy, and then 2 more down-to-earth, kind of like hard-hitting shows. So honestly, that was kind of a wild card on what would pull out in front. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure Overlord would have taken it if I hadn't jerry-rigged the results.
Possibly, but that season was very eclectic as far as people's preferences go. That's why it worked so well.
Yeah.
There wasn't a clear winner last season.
Yeah, and then this season, obviously, we had the choice between the 5 shows, but we all collectively knew that 86 was going to be it.
Last season, I think El Malloy benefited a lot from the fact that it was only your favorite show of the season. But for everyone else, it was ranked
good.
really highly.
Yeah. It was good, but not favorite. But that worked for it. As you can see, we have the most chosen B tier, also known as the goddammit tier.
Look, to be fair, it is the tier where you'd expect the most. Because when we're doing this podcast, we're submitting shows we genuinely think are pretty good. Mm-hmm. So, a pretty good show, like a show we like, is going to be specialized to your niche and taste, but it's good, so it's likely to pull in a lot of people.
Yeah, and obviously our 2 uwu submissions so far that were official uwus did achieve uwu like they were intended to,
And then there's Domestic Girlfriend sitting there giving Seki an aneurysm.
That show does give me an aneurysm. It gives Born an aneurysm.
I don't have Realm here to back me up today.
No, I actually did hate it. It just didn't give me an aneurysm.
Yeah.
I hated it a lot.
He hates it, but not enough to hate me for giving it an uwu.
You have to admit, though, even discounting how many B tiers we do have more A tiers than any other tier. We are generally an agreeable bunch across 3 seasons.
Yeah, a good show is a good show.
Yeah, we like a lot of things, which is really fucking funny because it's such an eclectic mix. It's so fucking weird. So I think it's perhaps time for us to get to some awards and GPA ratings. We have been rated on a GPA system like we're in school and we're passing tests.
Yes, this rating is based
horrible.
off of the most recent score of the series. So if you submitted a series twice, that series only counts for 1 grade. It's like retaking a class.
It's horrible. I hate it. I don't like being graded in my everyday life, but I'm being graded.
Well,
We all do.
I'll go in order from lowest to highest, I think, and then declare
boy.
who had the best one, the best taste of the season, and who had the worst.
Oh boy.
So, the worst taste of the season, and fuck this guy, is me! Knick-Knack!
To be fair, citrus.
Yeah, no, I got real screwed over by the random hat stuff. I
Yeah.
probably would have landed right dab smack in the middle if it weren't for my random hat stuff.
So let that be a lesson to you, toddlers and tots. Watch what you put in the random hat because it can bite you in the butt. Because you would not have lost otherwise.
Bees get degrees, but a sudden death in the family will cause your grades to slip.
Exactly.
Following that is, unfortunately, the other person here with us, Vorn, who had the GPA of 2.66.
Look, here, but here's the absolute win. He's not last.
True.
That honor belongs to one person only.
I mean,
I feel honored.
The last 2 seasons?
It's been eclectic. I think Seki might have had last.
I had last place first season. Absolute last. Because remember Katekyo?
I just don't think we presented it because it was... I didn't create the GPA till Season 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Season 2, I don't remember who had last. It wasn't me.
It was me.
Was it you again?
Because I was most improved in Season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I went from last to, like, second or first.
Yeah.
I really learned how to tailor my submissions.
Just losing to our best taste here is Realm, who had a GPA of exactly 3.0.
I would like to salute the fallen submissions of Realms in the first 2 seasons because that boy got the shittest fucking draw for 2 years. He literally got drawn less than all of us for 2 years.
He won the least lucky 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was entirely by chance. However, I absorbed his luck, so like...
Yeah, and this season you ended up with a 3.25, cementing Seki as the worst person with best taste.
I have the best taste again.
Also, I do have to say, Realm, if we didn't have the selection of getting your own votes, he would have lost. Because if you look at how he got.
Yeah, to be fair, though, also, you have to consider, so we're only judging each show once into the GPA. I had the least amount of shows this season to factor into my GPA. Because I only submitted 3 shows on my own.
Okay, I found the last season's...
Well, yeah, but I'm right, Knick-Knack, right? Like, I had the least shows to factor into my GPA.
Yes.
Also, get your fucking face on camera. You can see yourself in the little finder.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at the last season stuff here.
Brighten up your fucking screen. It might help.
It's not the brightness, it's the angle. So, okay. Last season, the best taste went to me, and the worst taste went to Vorn.
Woohoo! Still crap!
Wait, was it Vorn? I'm pretty sure it was Vorn. Yeah, it was Vorn.
Yeah, but so my GPA had the least amount of things going into it because I only submitted 3 shows this season, and they were Fairy Tail, One Piece, and Naruto, all of which experienced large jumps in approvals.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I had one rando?
I think you might have had a single random.
Yeah, I think it was By the Grace of the Gods, which still got a B
It still
tier.
did decently.
Yeah. So I didn't have anything below an A or a B tier this season at all.
I would have been fine this season if it weren't for those randos, because all of my shows ended up in B tier except for my randos, I think.
Yeah, no, that fucking sucks, dude.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, sucks to suck. So, obviously, I'm the best at school. We all know that.
Whereas Rando Hat sucks worse than Sucky's Starbucks straw the other day.
Fucking poor Rando. What was Rando's GPA? Did you calculate
No,
that?
I didn't.
Oh, we need to.
It would have gotten worse than me, though.
Yeah. Of course, because we hated most
Remind
of the
me
shows that
next
came out of
season,
Rando.
I'll do a calculation of it.
Yeah.
So, and then we have some awards here based off of our scoring preferences, which is the fun one, where I attack people for their choices in life.
I think I was still crap again.
So the first one here is actually not a scoring preference one. It's just who was the luckiest and who was the least lucky. But this will be a fairly interesting way that it goes. Because by raw numbers, Realm was the least lucky and I was the most lucky.
That was because because we had 5 random submissions, and the hat is made up of our shows, which we put in like every episode, and you got pulled 3 times from rando, meaning that you had 8 total shows this season.
So arguably, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
But also, if you watched any of the last section we did,
all 3 of them were shit. Yeah. Well,
Pokemon was okay.
Yeah, Pokemon was okay.
But like it was a travesty for me. So I'm technically the most lucky.
Yeah, but, it means very little when it tanks the rest of your stats.
I've always said my luck in FGO was EX minus.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a lot, but never what I want to get.
Yep. So who was least lucky? Well, it was Realm. You said that.
It was Realm with 0...
Poor fucking Realm. That's 3 seasons in a row now. This genuinely... And the thing is, the app I use to pull is completely randomized. Like, there is no bias towards anyone. We have the same amount of submissions.
In theory, Realm has the most in there right now.
Yeah. Like, no, I do.
Oh. That might be because I think Realm doubled up on a lot when we did the
Realm
first
did
season.
a lot of doubles, which left him...
In the first season, if you didn't catch on to this from some of our discussions, we cleared out all the doubles so we didn't have to worry about doubles towards the end.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Realms got removed.
Yeah,
and that might be why his rando's been pretty hit or miss.
Yeah, but oh god, it was just so sad. So sad.
Alright, so now for the Openness Award, which is based on the amount of approves to shits you gave. Mez are 0, shits are -1, and approves are +1. You want to be very open.
I think last season I won this.
Well, this season you won again by a single point.
Who did I beat?
All 3 of us were tied with a score of 17. That said, we have an award for what I call saltiest fish in the sea. Unfortunately, since 3 of us are tied, I had to find a tiebreaker, which I tie-broked it with who gave a shit at all.
Vorn
That guy,
gave the shit.
that off-screen disembodied voice gave the most shits out
Was
of all
that
of us.
the only shit this season?
You gave a shit at one point, but he gave 2.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, what was it?
Fuck did I give a shit on?
Citrus.
Oh, yeah.
I think you gave...
That's both of our shits.
I think you guys both gave 2 shits. I think you guys tied for shits.
Yeah,
But
I
you gave
had
more
approvals
approves and you
less
gave more mez.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'm generally an agreeable person when it comes to watching shit once I get into it,
Then, and this is a bit of a weird one given what we just discussed about how each of us goes over ooh-woos, the award I call the Probably High Award for the most ooh-woos. The winner, shockingly, of which was also that disembodied voice over there.
But that's also interesting because once again we discussed this. Vorn doesn't rate uwus the same way we do.
Which is not a problem.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with it, but it's so funny that he then got most.
I think this
probably
is the second in
high.
a row that he's gotten that.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
So here's a fun one that I did. I think I did it first season. I might not have done it second season. The Not Paying Attention Award for the most mez. This time, here's a fun fact. Realm and I tied for that award.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But here's the caveat here. A lot of my mez were on my own shows. That was not the case with
Yeah.
Realm.
Realm met a lot of other people's shows.
I think the only of his own he did was Persona.
Yeah.
So I decided to factor those out just for tiebreaker purposes and gave him the Not Paying Attention Award.
Which makes total sense.
Oh, yeah. Wait, wasn't Persona 5 the first movie?
3.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, we watched the
3.
Persona 3 movies. He med that one. That was his own that he med.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
did
approved
get
it,
that
though.
Shit?
No, it was 2 mez, 2 approvals, I think.
Oh.
It was 3 mez, 1 approval.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm the approval.
Yeah.
Oh.
No one gave it a shit because the later 3 movies were so much less offensive
Oh.
as far as, like,
Yeah.
killing
Yeah,
our time.
we did the first one in season 2.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was bad.
Ugh.
But yeah.
Yeah. So, moving on here, we have the Most Improved Player versus the Failure Award.
So I won this last season by an incredible amount. I went up like almost 2 GPA points between first season and second season.
Yeah.
So I can't beat that.
I forgot to note down the actual GPA difference here, so I'm
Yeah.
not going to have it here. Maybe if Seki asks, I'll give it to her later so she
Yeah.
can throw it up on screen. But in this case, Seki far and away was the most improved, partially due to her shows that she's been
Which-
pushing since last season. having
Yeah,
such an
which
improvement.
is so funny because like I started from the bottom, now we at the top.
I will say, I have zero expectation that Seki can pull off most improved again next season just because of
Yeah,
how
because
well
I'm
she did.
so fucking
Yeah.
high.
I have a feeling, if anything, you'll either land with no mention in this section or end up in failure just because you were so high this season.
Watch me specifically cater all of my submissions next season to be perfection for all 3 of you, just to keep this award.
Maybe, but your idea of perfection often results in T.H.E that I give meh.
Fuck off.
And then the failure award with no shot goes to me because I had best of season last season. Like I was the best GPA last season, and the worst one this
Were
season.
you the best GPA last
Yeah.
season? Oh,
I just triple checked that.
Yeah, wow.
Failure.
Failure.
Yep. Insert the Stephen He clip here. And yeah, we've already gone over our favorite finds in the anime this season, so yeah, those are the awards.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. I think looking at the tier list, right, the collective tier list, I think the most interesting thing is that of the 3 shows we've done as grand prizes, they've all been action. Like, we have not gotten an T.H.E or shoujo or... No. Like, we've had comedies and shoujos and isekais and slice of lifes up in A tier, but they're action. It's Overlord, El Malloy, right? And 86. Like, it seems like we really appreciate, like, a well-written... show that has both action and intrigue, kind of like strategy and plotting, but just being well written with stunning visuals seems to be like really the kind of
The golden spot for
the
us.
golden spot for all of us. Like, because we certainly like comedies and slice of lives. I mean, we've got Hamefura up there. We've got
One might call it the G spot.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No.
But we've got, like, you know, Lucky Star and Horimiya and Bofuri and Hamefura, which are all a little bit cuter and kind of funnier and slower, and we like them, and Kaguya, but, you know, those are not the things that get first.
Because it's interesting, because the stuff easiest to get in A tier are going to be those slower, more agreeable shows. I think getting into the
then
grand prize, it needs to... It
needs
seems
to
like it
have
needs to be a little bit more purposeful.
We need a little more pep in our step
Yeah.
in what we're watching, yeah.
It's interesting. Not a real problem, I don't think.
No, not at all. You know, because, I mean, we've got Goblin Slayer up there, and Demon
Yeah.
Slayer. Those are the other 2 hard-hitting, and Noragami. Those are the three other more actiony.
Genuinely, I think
shows.
if 86 had either not been submitted or if season 2 had come in and I'd given it a meh or a shit, I genuinely think Hori would have won that.
Yeah, Hori would have taken it.
And that is absolutely not in line with the rest of the grand prizes.
No, not at all. But yeah, you're right. It just, because we all put in different things, but we somehow always manage to have like a fairly wide spread of shows we're watching, to be honest, with the exception of horror and porn. Sorry, hentai.
Or, I can't believe it's not hentai.
I mean, we did have to be fair, there was not the only one that had elements of I can't believe it's not hentai.
I mean, all three are I can't believe it's not hentai if you watch the uncensored version of that.
Tentacles. In Ore. Tentacles.
That was just I can't believe it's not hentai. And that's also I cannot believe it's not hentai.
I don't know, quite frankly, I think Citrus was I can't believe it's not illegal.
Can we just call the ooh tier the hentai tier?
Ecchi, yeah, it is like the ecchi tier, like straight up. Like, I feel like the thing is, like, sometimes ecchi is just like so funnily and well done that it's like worth like a genuine love. Like, so good.
All right, so we quit. We're done after that. I'm kidding.
So next season we're doing altered communism, basically.
It's more of an altered anarchy.
Altered anarchy, that's it. The first season was anarchy. It was mostly from Random Hat, and we were just putting everything into Random Hat and then drawing from Random Hat, regardless of how many times each of us got submitted.
Yeah.
So this time, it's an altered version of that, because we find that, well, I mentioned this earlier, I said we'd get back to it, but, like, for example, I only had 3 shows this season that I put in of my own volition, right? And that's because, and you also had this problem where you had several shows or series that you kept putting back in, which is fair, but, like, because some of us...
Oh, this is the liberal season.
Yeah, because some of us have really long shows or series or even Railgun Index, right? Because some of us have things like that, we end up using multiple submissions to put in the same show so we can get further, right? Because you always think that the more you see, the better chances are the rest of us of liking it, and the more you can talk about it, and that's true. But it also means that this season we had comparatively way less shows new than the last 2 seasons. Like, unique shows was an all-time low this season. And granted, it's only out of 3 seasons,
Yeah.
And obviously, season 1 had all-time high because it was all new.
But the thing is, I don't think any of us want to go back to the anarchy where we can't push anything.
Yeah, we still want to be able to, like, push something if necessary. But I think this season, there just wasn't enough random, unique shows.
It's honestly been a problem the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, so this upcoming season will start as we always do with our Uwu selection, which you will hear at the end of this video. And then the way we're going to do it is we're going to do rando, one of us, rando, one of us, rando, one of us, rando, one of us, rando.
And the order we go in will be alphabetical to our screen names.
Yeah. So it'll be Knick-Knack, Realm, Seki, Vorn.
Yep.
And we are all, because of the way this works out, each of us is only going to get 3 total submissions that are chosen. The rest will be pulled out of rando. And hopefully, because in rando we can't double up on submissions anymore, hopefully this means that we get a lot of unique shows. There are very few continuations in the hat. Like, the hat is primarily made of unique shows. And ideally, we're going to get a lot of new stuff to enjoy.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting... I have a feeling this will be my favorite system we've done so far.
Because I know certainly, I'll admit it right here and now, I'm going to be pushing Fairy Tail some more. Because I've found that you guys are relatively enjoying Fairy Tail, and honestly, I'm really enjoying rewatching it in this sort of way, and I want to get through a few more arcs. So I'm going to be pushing Fairy Tail, which means I'm probably going to spend at least 2, if not all 3 of my submissions on the same show this coming season. But with this new rando draw, I might actually get some of my weird rando stuff pulled out.
Fate fans, this is your season.
There is so much fate in the hat you don't understand. There's like 7 fates in the hat.
And beyond that, 2 of my submissions at least are going to be fate, and 1 is going to be a free week because it doesn't exist.
Yep. And I know Vorn certainly wants to show us more of Railgun.
We're going to at least finish up season 1, so that's 1, and then the other 2 are going to be up in the air.
Yeah.
Whatever he feels like in the moment.
Yeah, and Realm usually just goes with his gut feeling.
Realm actually has a plan this coming season. I think he wants to push us through the rest of Overlord and start us, or push us through some B-Stars.
That's fair. Overlord only need 1 season to... Oh, no, 4 came out, so you'd need 2 submissions to finish
Yeah.
it. Okay.
I think he's hoping that one of the submissions comes out rando, so he could push both seasons of B-Stars.
Yeah, he's going to be waiting a while.
You never know. Rando giveth, and Rando taketh away.
It does. Rando gaveth to me so much in season 1, and tooketh so much away from
I'm
from
pretty
Realm.
sure Fate Zero was not only Rando. Was
I don't know if Realm is hoping on Rando. I feel like he should remember that the hat giveth to Seki and taketh from Realm.
That said, he's had 3 bad seasons randomized in a row. You never know. He could do well this season.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
that's not the way that randomization works.
Look, I'm trying to give him some hopium here.
Copium.
Hopium, no. It's hopium. Copium is different.
Those of you who have taken statistics know that is not how it works. But he can huff that hopium all he wants.
How
All
many
right.
shows are in Rando again?
A lot.
Currently, the Rando hat is sitting at... I will admit that I have actually not collected submissions for like the last 3 shows.
Yeah.
That's
And
not
I'm not
surprising.
going to go back and do it now. It's been too long. I don't know where I stopped. So we just didn't get a few in this season.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Rando is at 195 shows. There are 195 unique series in the hat. Some of them are continuations. We do have Overlord in there. We have a couple other things we've already seen. We've got like Demon Slayer in there, Snafu's in there, but the vast majority of those, at least 90%, are wholly new. So, fingers crossed we get a lot of fun new stuff on the channel, and we get to watch things that we haven't seen before.
Honestly, I'm not going to be mad, because even if it's not, though, because there's a lot of pushes I think all of us would appreciate in there, too.
Yeah.
And if we do get a push, that does free up a slot for you to do something more experimental.
True. But, I think with that being said, we should probably announce the first episode of Season 4.
Yeah.
So you guys want to give me a drum roll? This season's Ooh Woo is the glorious, the wonderful,
The best
work-
sport in the world.
the work of art that goes by the name, the simple name of Keijo. Keijo.
Okay, so yeah, that'll be our next episode. Do we want to go over the upload schedule? How that's gonna look? It's gonna be largely the same, I know.
Yeah, so we're for the moment at least we're keeping for now the same 3-episode spread. Although
Yes.
we're looking into considering combining the final 2 episodes, characters and story and free thoughts, because we find that we often venture from one into the other. But we haven't decided what we would replace that in with the schedule yet, because we do want to keep 3 episodes a week, and we can't really move through Seki Reacts any faster than we already are, because then we're going to run out of servants too fast comparatively.
Maybe not run out, but we'll start hitting the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, we still want to have a good smattering of like popular, not popular, that sort of thing. Especially because with the Seki Reacts, a lot of our submissions are like, a lot of our scheduling is like, we pick what we want to see.
Yeah.
Like, we have a few pushes. We have stuff that we want, like we feel like we need to do by a certain point. But a fair amount of those decisions we make are about what we want to see, regardless of whether or not it's a big popular servant.
Yeah. Look, Seki's the one that picks the vast majority of these, and Seki does not know what's coming up in FGO. If there's any big ones that I think I could trick the algorithm with, I'll throw it in there. Like, you saw Nightingale last season, around the Nightingale event. That was no accident.
Yeah, like, we schedule a few around events, but
By the time this comes out, Himiko will have released, and Himiko was an accident, actually.
Yeah, no, actually, and Himiko was an accident thrown in late.
Yeah.
We needed an extra servant for that month, and Nick Nack was like, what do you want to see? And I was like, you know what? I want to see Himiko.
So we threw Himiko in.
Yeah.
And the release date happened to line up with the exact day her event launched.
Yeah, in NA, which is fucking hilarious.
Woof.
Just absolutely god tier. Beyond that, we're going to continue with personal content of a variable form, and we're definitely continuing with Off the Shelf, with the caveat that you may actually see Realm and Vorn. on a few of the off the shelves soon.
Yeah, there's one that I've been eyeing for Realm recently to get Seki on with.
Yeah, actually, he's already contacted me about it, and I've been reading it. So we're just waiting for enough chapters to come out.
I'm keeping up as well, but I'll be stepping out because I don't feel like I'll have much to contribute to this conversation. Not as much as Realm will.
Yeah. Are there any...
Seki Reacts, I guess we can shout out the fact that Seki Reacts this year is going to have two feature-length films.
Technically, it's going to be 3, isn't it?
It might end up looking like 3 with an extra one in there.
This season, like, there are so many double or triple episodes or, like, months where we have more than 2. Like, the schedule is jam-fucking-packed, and we do have at least 2 feature-length films.
Could this lead to us hitting the bottom of the barrel sooner? Maybe.
Do we care?
No.
And you will see the updates video. I've said it in a few reacts recently, but we do have an updates video for all the NPs that I haven't seen, the card arts we didn't see before people told us to look at them, and any updated summer or winter arts. We are doing that next season in the first 3 months of the year. I promise.
And you might have seen it with some of the videos we've done, like that Requiem review I put out, but I will be trying to do a little bit more of my own editing. That way some of the videos can hopefully have some attention to Fate. Like, if I'm repeating myself on a Fate lore topic, Seki's not going to catch that, but I can.
Yeah.
And then Seki hopefully will put out a little bit more.
Yeah, I've got some plans to maybe delve into manga and anime adapted into, like, dramas and that sort of thing, because I do watch a lot of dramas, and sometimes the drama adaptation is genuinely as good or better, and sometimes it is so much worse.
And I think 2 of you might have actually caught it, but might start trying to do some live streaming. I did manage to get a setup going, and I fixed the echo issue.
I kept complaining about I joined this fucking live stream at like 11 p.m. in the evening, and I was like, there's an echo. There's an echo. There's an echo. Echo. Echo.
Look, that's why I called it test, do not enter. I didn't know what kind of ear rape was likely going to happen.
I fucking entered. But yeah, and you know what? You know, pending subscribers, you know, we're so grateful for all the people who are watching. You know, I'm so happy that y'all are enjoying it. Like, I know that our reacts to Fate series are what people really like the most of. Because we see those getting like 1,000 views, more than 1,000 regularly. And I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying that, because honestly, I'm really enjoying looking into the history of figures that I maybe knew peripherally, but didn't ever study in detail, right?
I think the Japanese ones are the most fun with Seki.
I did genuinely, because like I've studied Japanese history, but I've studied it in more of a dates and times and places way than a figure by figure. So sometimes like we get into a figure and I start going and I'm just like, holy fucking shit. Like for example, I've bought a bunch of books recently. I just got a copy of Heike Monogatari, The Tale of Heike. And I cannot wait to page my way through that like 700 page book, because I'm just fascinated.
We have a few other things that might be on the horizon, but we're not going to announce that yet, because I'm not sure when that will be playing out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or if it'll maintain the same format that we're discussing right now. But there's other things on the horizon too.
Yeah.
That said, one thing I can announce here. Hulk smash.
Sitting out of the goddamn video like this over here. You have space, fucker.
One more thing I'll announce here before we sort of start wrapping this up is there's been a lot of talk of a D&D campaign on the channel. But here's the thing. We like to use stolen art and copyrighted music as our background music for that campaign. And I like to keep it that way. So we're not going to be showing the FGO campaign on channel, unfortunately. But I am trying to get a Fate campaign going on channel. We'll be doing some of that work today after this is over. So once we sort of have that hashed out, you might start seeing some FGO, or not FGO, some Fate D&D stuff appearing on the channel here and there.
You can feel the thirst of Seki. You can feel it in person. Well, over video, but it is strong in the campaign, right, Vorn?
Yes. And also get ready to watch our own stupidity and our own falling and tripping on our feet. You're going to have fun. There's going to be some nice laughs right there for all
we're
of you.
fucking morons. You have to include Gilgamesh so I can die to him.
We'll see.
Yeah, for the 4th time.
That said, if I will note here, it will only be Seki and Vorn and myself because for scheduling reasons.
I swear to fucking God, this season, right, season 4, we are getting up some DM's notes from our normal campaign. Like, we are getting up some, like, dramatic retellings of the shit that we get into in the actual Fate campaign.
I still don't have a good format for that, but I will collect stories from you guys, some of your favorite moments, and I will note them down in my campaign book. And it might not be this season, but either this season or next season, I'm really hoping to have the book, a draft of the first campaign done so I can upload
when the
it.
campaign is drafted, I'll help him turn it into more of a proper PDF book format for D&D, like a setting that you can use for free, and we'll have it posted to the channel when that happens, and potentially in other places, you know?
I guess before we go, I wanted to give a big thank you, because we joke on our channel that we are not a Fate channel, because we're not. But you guys, we do know that you Fate fans are the bulk of our fan base right now. So, like...
They are our Horcruxes.
Yeah.
You are our Horcruxes.
So I just wanted to give a huge thank you to you guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, this time last season, I did not see us at this spot.
No, because this time last season, we hadn't yet published a Seki. Think of it this way. Seki Reacts to Fate has only been going on since the end of last September. Our first episode came out at the very end of September or the beginning of October.
By then, we were already done with the season tier list, even if the season was not all the way up yet.
Yeah, yeah. So, it has been 1 year, basically, since we started the Seki Reacts to Fate, and it has gone through several changes during that time. All for the better, honestly, in my opinion.
Now, it's possible it happens this season. I just want to tell our subscribers, well, we might qualify for monetization this season. I think at the moment where we're leaning is we don't necessarily want to click that check mark, because when we do that, that'll start throwing ads on our videos, and I don't want to do that to you guys with... not right now.
Well, however, if we do hit the normal monetization kind of threshold, what we may do instead is start a Patreon with quite a few perks for people who are willing, and it will not be expensive. Believe me, I'm a broke-ass college student, and I understand the pain of wanting to subscribe to people's Patreons, but it being like $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, $9.99. If we start a Patreon, it's gonna be like $1.99.
Yeah.
This shit gonna be cheap as fuck.
And that said, I don't want to like start throwing ads on the videos for us to get like a quarter every month.
We won't be doing that. Our videos will still come out on the channel to the normal schedule. There just might be some extra perks for Patreon, you know, live streams, early access.
And even at this moment, all of our content is still going to end up on the channel at some point.
Yeah, all of it. Like the edited version will always go up on the channel at this moment.
And we're only in talks of what kind of things we can put elsewhere. So, I think, but yeah. That's season 3, folks. This is the end of the playlist. If you're watching this on a playlist, please click over to the next. Please switch the playlists.
That's all, folks.
Dun, 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 dun.